All right, it's announcement time. Um, Man, this has been a really difficult one to live with. It's been, I guess we've known for a couple of 3 weeks. Bella's like, announcement, what's going on? Can I come get on the video? Bella, come here. Come here, Bella. All right, she's going to be shy. All right, so we're not going to wait on Bella. Enough waiting. Um, so, uh, this is, what an unlikely story. Well, okay, how did this deal came together is unlikely, but I'm going to step back and we'll look at how unlikely this whole thing is from the fact that this started with a novelette, a short story that I wrote while I was working in a bookstore that I didn't promote. It took off by itself. You all promoted it and talked about it and reviewed it. And so on the eve of NaNoWriMo last year, I changed what I was going to do and fleshed out the rest of this story instead. And I mean, this time a year ago, I had just finished Wool 4 and hadn't even started Wool 5. And so we're talking about a book that's only been out since January. And in that time, we've had some incredible things happen. One of the first of those, of which was hearing from Kristen Nelson in the middle of the night, who I'd already told some agents I didn't think it made sense to be with an agent. I was happy doing things the way that I was, and she convinced me, hey, let's explore foreign rights, let's amp up the Hollywood push, both of which have been, I mean, Ridley Scott, and 20 countries later, she's proven herself, what everything she said has come true. But another thing that came true is we both agreed early on that nothing would come from domestic publishers. They just weren't going to offer the kind of things that I would want, which wasn't necessarily money, but certain concessions and privileges. So, but Kristen and I agreed that it would be worth it to have these conversations. That the only way some of these changes would come about would be to have enough of these conversations that down the road things would would pan out for independent authors who are already enjoying success and looking for a print partner. So we went through a first round of talks, and it's been interesting how the talks have changed with these different rounds. But the first round of talks, I was getting offers that, frankly, I would have fallen over myself to accept just a few months prior. But there were, I mean, Wool had already done very well, but some of these offers were saying, okay, we're going to change the title, we're going to take it down from availability, and we'll put it back up in a year. It was just things that, not only made us say no, it made us, have to stop laughing before we said no. But we did have some offers that were interesting and tempting, but not nearly tempting enough. So we went the foreign route and had success there, and had some great success with Ridley Scott and Steve Zalian in Hollywood. And next thing we know, with the Random House release in the UK and Australia uh, ramping up, we got a second round of offers. And this one, I ended up flying to New York to talk to publishers and got to see the insides of a lot of these publishing houses and meet the editors. And it was a lot of fun. We had one of the great fan meetups while I was in New York. And at that meetup, this is how this story takes kind of a strange twist. Dave Cullen, the author of Columbine, he and I have become friends online, and I told him about the meetup, said he should come out and hang out. We get to meet in person. So he did, and while he was watching like all this interaction of all these readers, and said, so, what in the world's going on with you? And I was like, I'm as clueless as you are. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. And he said, well, you're meeting with Simon & Schuster, right, while you're here? He knew I was meeting with several publishers, and I was like, I don't think we're meeting with them. To be honest, Kristen would just tell me, be at this address, at this time. I didn't know what was going on. And I said, I don't think we're meeting. And he said, well, man, they should know about this. Come here, Bella. You should be on video for this. Bella, come here. Come on. Come here, girl. So, Bella makes an appearance. So, Dave says, well, I'll call or send an email to John and just let him know they should really be looking into this. And I thought, Dave, that's so sweet of you, but I mean, nothing's going to come of that. I'm only here for a limited amount of time, and we're meeting with all these other publishers, and it's going to be, you know, nothing's going to come of it. So you're so sweet. Oh, I love you. So we, so the next morning, so John hangs out. We like stay out till midnight, and then John's going to send an email to John Karp in the middle of the night. Like, yeah, it's going to be a wonderful introduction to Wool. So the next morning, I'm getting coffee before the very first meeting, and I check my email, and there's an email from an editor at Simon & Schuster, and they want to know if I have an agent, who they would talk to about Wool. They just finished reading the book, and I'm thinking, how is this possible? Like, how? And the reason it was confusing was a complete coincidence. So imagine poor John Karp. This is the editor-in-chief of Simon & Schuster. He's getting two sets of emails at the same time. One from an author and friend of his. They did Columbine together when John was at 12. And 12 is the name of the publisher who released Columbine, which everyone should read. Unbelievable book. So he gets an email from Dave Cullen, this author of his, and he also gets an email from one of his chief editors, Mary Sue, who's on maternity leave and has read Wool on her own and is reaching out to me and letting John know about this and that we're in town and we can meet. So, and this is already bizarre for me to be meeting with these other publishers, you know, all the major publishers, and now we're shoehorning this meeting with Simon & Schuster at the very end of this trip. I mean, they have to arrange a car to get me to the airport at the end of the meeting. And the meeting was bizarre. All these other meetings were boardrooms full of people who read the book and had marketing plans and mock-ups of covers and all this stuff. And I'm in John Karp's office, and it's just Kristen and John and myself. And John has only read the first 40 or so pages. He's never even gotten to the first twist. Doesn't know what any of this is about. We're talking with his editor, who's on a speakerphone, and so and they're like, John was saying, so what are you guys looking for? What's going on? He's done a little research on the book, and we told him what we were hoping for, and he said, well, good luck getting that. And I don't think he said that, but anyway, it was like all the other conversations. It was just feeling out everybody, and we shook hands and had a great meeting, and it was exciting to meet John and to I don't know, just the whole way the meeting went down was really neat, really a lot of coincidences and very exciting, and it meant a better ride to the airport than a yellow cab. And so I flew back to North Carolina. Nothing came of any of the meetings. We got more great offers, but nothing that was worth giving up the kind of control and the freedoms and the ability to keep the ebook price where I like it. I want all this to be affordable as both a consumer and as an author. And so we, forgot about it. It was a fun experience, met some great people. Well, a month ago, a third round of offers began. The release with Random House in Australia and the UK is looking like it's going to be a really great release, and so some buzz was building. We hit the New York Times bestseller list for a couple of weeks, and so next thing we know, now the offers are getting to where I'm an idiot for walking away from them. There's these 7-figure deals, and it's life-changing amounts of money. And my wife, bless her, is supporting me and walking away. And Kristen is like, yeah, I don't think these are right for you, and you're going to be unhappy if you take these offers, and I'm going to be miserable either way. It's a very difficult decision. But then, out of the blue, Simon & Schuster comes in. I mean, it's just, it should not have happened this way. It's just unbelievable. And they're wanting to do what I've been looking for from the beginning, which is allow me to remain independent with what's working, my digital book, and do what you do best, which is create a print book and get it in bookstores. And Simon & Schuster comes to me with this deal that only I know John Locke and Bella Andre and a couple of authors have gotten this, but it's not common. I hope it becomes more common for indie writers who are having success. But I mean, it's Simon and Schuster. They're releasing it in their number one imprint. You know, this is going to be a Simon and Schuster book. It's you know, this is the House of Ray Bradbury, and they don't do a lot of science fiction. They really, you know, cultivate works that they think are well, I don't know why they're doing Wool, because it just doesn't fit in with the way I think of Simon and Schuster, which is only these great seminal works. So I guess the exception proves the rule. But Wool is going to be among those greats, and well, I'll just have more anxiety over what in the world is going on in my life. But so Simon & Schuster, this is the announcement. Simon & Schuster is doing a major print release of Wool March of 2013, so they are crashing the book. It's already in such good shape editorially, but we've done another round of copy edits, and it's even better. And it's going to be everywhere. You're going to be sick of seeing it. And for all your Luddite friends who don't want to get online or get an e-reader or know how to read this, they're going to be able to go to a bookstore and pick it up. I'm going to be able to go to a bookstore and pick it up. I can't wait to go buy my own book. So that's it. In March, Simon & Schuster is going to do this major release, and we're going to have all this marketing muscle behind it and a book tour. And for those of you who complain that I haven't been in your neck of the woods, the chances of me getting there are going to get greater, because they're going to send me out west. We're hoping Portland or Seattle. Kansas City has been mentioned. Want to go to Charleston and maybe do a signing in the bookstore that I helped open when I was in college. And then we'd like to end up in Miami at Books and Books. And Mitchell Kaplan, who has been such a huge supporter of this work, has offered to have that be the finale of this book tour. So exciting things afoot. It's all because of you all and your support of this work and your interactions with me online, on Facebook and Twitter, and your emails. It just keeps me going. It makes it so easy to get up every morning and want to work on these books and try to meet your expectations, which are just absolutely ludicrous. So if I can just get halfway to where you expect me to be, I feel like that's a victory. So that's it. I'm completely stunned. I don't know how I've lived with this secret, and I'm so glad to get it out and tell you guys. Man, I can't wait. So, man, the bookstore I used to work in, when I wrote this, my manager is going to get a drop-in his catalog, like, and his sales rep's going to be like, you need to get this book, and he's going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to finally have to read this thing. So, thanks, Bill. Hope you order a copy. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope this seems like a big deal enough for all the teasing and hype, because it's a huge deal for me. It's everything I've wanted. It means I get to do things the way we've been doing it and just expand the reach to people who haven't even heard of this series yet. So it's just unbelievable. Just a win-win situation for everybody. And I thank you all for making it happen. So, all right, I'll see you online.